Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cantine Field for this afternoon's Kingston Saugerties Post 150, Post 72 versus Schenectady Indians American Legion Post. Matchup for this year's play-in game for the New York State play-in game. Winner goes on to play on Tuesday morning, starting the tournament at 10 a.m., and the losers ends their season. We're going through pregame ceremonies at the moment and lineups, and we'll be doing the national anthem. We'll be back right after this. Leading off. The first pitch swung on and missed. Correction, swung on and chopped foul up the third baseline and out of play. An experience with technical difficulties. Please stick with us as we rate the audio here. It's an 0-1. And 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed, high fastball. It'll be 0-2. The 0-2 pitch is ball. Only 1-2. Pitch is slashed down the third baseline. It's going in, rolling in the corner, and Parada will have a stand-up double, lead off the game. Great way to get things started. So instead of the regular Casey Moore, Gold was ahead of him, probably not on that pitch at that location. But that's where it's up. Perez got a double. First pitch swinging, foul over the visiting dugout. Actually, the visiting dugout under normal circumstances, but the Indians are home today on the first base side. And here's the 0-1. Swung on and hammered to right field. That's going to be a base hit. Runner sent home, and he's going to make it easy as the ball gets bobbled on the relay. And just like that, Kingston Saugerties has 2 hits and a 1-0 lead. So instead of first baseman, it's Conrad. Two batters, two hits. And first pitch is in there, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, Conrad. Swung on, foul back to screen. Up around the letters. And it's 1-1. Gold flips it over to Funyak, checking out the runner. Not much of a lead. Here's the pitch. Ooh! Straight back to Gold, takes the glove off, picks it up, not in time. That's going to be a single for Conrad. He ripped that right back to Gold. Gold put out the glove, hit him right in the palm, took his glove right off. He was able to stay with it and get it back, and appears to be okay. Man, that was scary. Rip right back to the box. So in steps Isaiah Mays. Kingston Saugerties 3 consecutive hits in the game. First pitch low and away. Ball 1. Isaiah Mays converted outfield this year for Kingston Saugerties. Moving to shortstop. Played all last season in the outfield. Strike one on the second pitch. It's 1-1. And Mays lays one down. Move the runners along. Fielded by Gold. Over to Funyak in the first out, but the sacrifice will move the runners into scoring position. Conrad on second. And number 50 administration, Jordan. Steps. First pitch, strike one. Second pitch also strikes 2. Fouled off into the mitt. So they need to pick up the second out again on a strikeout. That will bring up the left fielder, Cade Kraus. First pitch is in there for a strike. Oh, 1. Gold deals high. Evens the count at 1-1. That's in there for a strike. So it's 1-2. Kraus with a big opportunity to get a 3-0 lead here on the board for Kingston Saugerties. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Gold. High, ball 2. Here is the 2-2. Foul up the right field line, right over tarp. Kraus a little bit late, but that's his hitting style. At his best, hit into the right center gap. Unless he turns on inside, typically we'll go with pitch. So we'll do again, here's the 2-2. Curveball high, pop to the right center, and it's caught to end the inning. So Kingston puts together 3 hits. 1 run leads 2. We'll be back right after this. The play baseball as Kingston Saugerties takes field, setting defense and KC Morris right, Conrad center, left, third, as Anthem short, Matt Boyce second, Conrad first, Matt Belfant, pitch is Marcy. Leading off for Schenectady Indians, the center fielder, Vending. And he promptly singles right up. So lead off singles on both sides. One pitch, one hit. Vending straight up the middle. And that'll bring up the second base. Christian for reach. Negative checks on Vandick. Nothing over there. Not much of a lead from any guy. So here's the pitch. Up a little bit high. Second pitch is never strike 1. Swung on and popped up the right field line into the dead cage. It'll be a 1-2 to Tortorici. And here's the pitch. High ball. 2. Here's the 2. Swung on and wrapped to main. Catches. Throws it back. He had short of the play, but it hit Vandick in the shoulder, rolls into the dugout, and allows Vandick to get back on second. Adam did right. Just a tough throw off the line from main. So that'll put a runner in scoring position. And Funyak will step up to the plate. Funyak is playing first base. I don't see that too often. First pitch swinging. Hits one right up the middle. Right up the center. Runner here play. It's not going to get their time. Indians will score. So 2 hits, 1 run, and the game is tied at 1. First pitch is ball. 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swung on and lined out to main again. And now he gets the double play. Flipping it back to Du Bois at second base. And that'll wrap it up. So after one complete, Saugerties Kingston has 3 hits and 1 run left, 1 on base. The Indians 1 run on 2 hits, none left. We'll be back after this message.
Fantastic coffee, and
Jace Van Valkenburg, the designated hitter, set to lead off. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. Jason his first year of Legion ball. The pitch is swung on and fouled away over the right field side. It'll be 1-1. In there for a strike. It's 1-2. And he got him looking. Van Valkenburg a little bit fooled on that pitch, so that'll bring up the catcher, number 99, Matt Belfance. That went back to the wall in 1-0. Here's the pitch. High and away, ball 2. That one also misses. It's 3-0. So Belfance has his choice of pitches coming up here. And taking all the way on that one, 3-1. Belfance works a 1-out walk. In steps the second baseman, Matt Du Bois. Sorry folks, I know we're experiencing some issues here with the audio, trying to get that repaired. First pitch is in there for a strike. Gold checking over on Belfance. Don't think he's a threat to run, and not much of a lead, but maybe just seeing if there's any other signals going here. And the pitch is high for ball 2, so the count runs to 2-1. Correction, it was a 1-1 pitch. Now it is a 1-2 as Du Bois swings through that. Swung on and popped up. Originally, Nick DeLucia given chase, but Ryan Funyak calls him off for the out, and that'll be the second out. It does turn the lineup over, however, as Hunter Parada, the leadoff batter, steps in. He had a double lead the game off, scored a run in the top of the first. And here's the pitch. Curveball just outside, ball 1. Probably a little bit high as well. Here's the 1-0 pitch. like it was straight down the middle, but it must have been inside. It's 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled over the grandstands and out of play. And rebounded back here in front of the Kingston Saugerties dugout. Thankfully we have a roof. So it'll be 2-1. Gold deals, high strike. Parada couldn't lay off. That would be strike 2, so it's 2 out. Top of the second, tied at 1. And Gold pitches. Fouled off by Parada. A little bit similar to Parada's first at bat, where he fouled a couple off before eventually slashing a double down the third base line and went into the corner by the bullpen. And the pitch is fouled. Straight back into the net. So the 2-2 pitch, shortly on its way. Half swing, not called a strike, and not appealed either. Oh, now being appealed. And field umpire McCormick says no. So Belfance actually moves up on the pitch, putting him in scoring position. So an opportunity here for Parada with a 2-out RBI. To put Kingston Saugerties up by 1. Here's the pitch. Swung on off the pitcher's glove second time this game. Flipping on to Funyak for the out, and that will end the threat and the top half of the second. We'll be back right after this. We start the bottom half of the second inning. The Schenectady Indians will be led off by Nick DeLucia, the catcher. We experienced a few issues here between innings. I think the equipment is overheating. It's 95 here, and we apologize for any technical difficulties. First pitch swinging was DeLucia, fouled away down the third base side, and here is the 0-1. High fastball swung on and popped up behind third base. Stration Dorian calls for it and makes the play for out number 1. And Brody Johnson steps in. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. The 1-0. Swung on and belted right at Creighton Krause. Had to bend his knees a little bit to grab it. Pretty good slash, but just hung up a little long for the base hit, so Neglia picks up 2 quick outs here and only on a few pitches to start the inning. I'm sure he'd be happy to get back in that dugout as soon as possible given the heat. First pitch is a ball. That second pitch is swung on and just foul. Ripped it down the third base line, probably 2 feet in the line. It would have been trouble if it fell in place. But instead, it's just a long strike, 1-1. This is Brody Becker at the plate, by the way. We have back-to-back Brodies in the 6th and 7th slot for the Indians, and we got back-to-back Matts in the 8-9 slot for Kingston Saugerties. Swung on and hit up the middle for a base hit. So, good ball striking there by Becker. Hit a hard liner foul and straightened it out and hit it right back up the middle. So that'll bring up Dylan Becker. Don't know enough about the Indians to know if these guys are brothers, but it seems too weird, so I'm going to say yes. Twins, I can't answer. And here's the pitch. Fisted into right field. It will end up being a base hit. Du Bois quickly hit it into Maines, who got upended on the play, but there was no play to be had there, so Dylan Becker fights it off, picks up the 4th base hit here for the Indians. And now the Indians are threatening with runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 out here in the bottom of the 2nd. Neglia deals outside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch low and underneath his hands. Great pitch there. And it's 1-1. The batter, by the way, is the right fielder, Michael Paulsonetti, and the 2nd pitch is a strike, so it's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. Paulsonelli fights it off with a foul ball back to the screen. The 1-2 pitch fooled him. Caught it on the inside corner, so got the K looking to end the threat in the 2nd inning. The Indians failed to take advantage of the 2 hits in the inning. And that will end the 2nd play-in game for the New York State Senior Level Championship Series. Winner will move on to play in the state finals come Tuesday. A loser will end their season. Casey Moore will lead it off for Kingston Saugerties. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit up the right field line and just out of the reach of Michael Paulsonelli. And that's going to be trouble as Moore goes around 2nd and he heads into 3rd with a stand-up triple. Tough angle for Paulsonelli as that was a rip up the right field line. And not much he could do. Angle of pursuit was a little shallow, and it ends up being a triple for Casey Moore, his 2nd hit of the game. He had an RBI single in the top of the 1st. And in steps Ethan Conrad. High and away, ball 1. Conrad hit an absolute screamer in the top half of the 1st. Gold tried to net it with his glove, and it knocked his gloves clean off. And Conrad won the race to 1st as Gold had picked it up and got it over to Funyak, but not in time. 1-1. The one pitch upstairs. Curveball. 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Conrad had it where he wanted it. Just couldn't connect. Seeing dead red. And it evens the count at 2-2. Here's the pitch. Up high and in. Running the count full. Gold hasn't had a lot of luck with his curveball today. You got to be guessing that he's going fastball here. And he does. Foul down the third base line over the grandstands for Conrad. He'll see another. Here's the 3-2. Up high, another rocket back to Gold, this time off his chest. He flips it over to Funyak, but it does push.
Productive out for Kingston Saugerties.
Maine's across the plate, more across the plate. Maine's is coming up to bat, so Kingston Saugerties will take the 2-1 lead on the fielders, or the 1-4, 1-3. But it is an RBI. So in steps the shortstop, Isaiah Maines. Maines had a sacrifice bunt in the top of the first, which ended up pushing Conrad and Peretta into scoring position. That one hammered right back to Gold over to Funyak for out number 2. Stration Doring steps into the plate. Hacking at first pitch, fouled over the first base dugout. Here's the 0-1. Called the ball by home plate umpire, so it's 1-1. And here's the pitch. Slow high curve is swung on and fouled over the grandstand. Looked like Dornan was fooled a little bit, and it puts him down in the count 1-2. The 1-2 is low. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 outs. Top of the third. Kingston Saugerties leading 2-1 over Schenectady Indians. And fastball right over the heart of the plate. Swung on and missed by Strachan Dornan. That will end the third. Top of the third. Saugerties picks up 1 run on 1 hit. Nobody left. We'll be back after this. Start the bottom of the third for the Schenectady Indians. And as you probably heard from PA announcer Rob Vanderbeck, Andrew Vandyck will start it off, the leadoff hitter. First pitch swinging, fouled it straight back on a curveball from Neglia. Vanek had a single in the top of the first and scored a run. Here's the 0-1. Curveball in there for a strike. So back-to-back curveballs by Neglia. Certainly that one seemed to fool Vandyck a little bit more. And here's the 0-2. Fastball high, fouled away over the first base side and into the Saugerties High School front yard. So we'll do it again. Here's the 0-2. Hit hard over to Maines at short, who scoops it up and on to Conrad for out number 1.
With one away, your batter is the second baseman, Christian Tortorici.
Nice hop at the last second there from Maines, made it an easy play. And Christian Tortorici steps in. He popped to short in the top of the first. First pitch is in there for a strike. The 0-1 served into right field. Tortorici did a good job right there, waiting on the curveball and then serving it into right field. Good piece of hitting.
By Tortorici, brings to the plate the first baseman, Ryan Funyak.
That'll bring Ryan Funyak to the plate. Funyak had an RBI single in the bottom of the first. And Negley uncorks one right into his back. It looked like if he had the right grip on that or what, but very uncharacteristic of Negley. Is usually has pretty good control.
Brings to the plate the third baseman, Derek Robinson.
So that'll put 2 on for Derek Robinson. And the pitch in there for a strike. Robinson is patrolling third base this afternoon. Neglia turns to check on the runner, gets away from him, ends up in center field, and both runners will advance. He threw it a little bit up the line. Maines did not have a chance to get there. He stretched the glove. That's the best he could do. And now the Indians are threatening with second and third and only 1 out. Let's see what Derek Robinson can do here at the plate. And here's the 0-1 pitch. Neglia steps off. Now the 0-1. Upstairs, 1-1. Another ball. Runs the count to 2-1. So now the count in the favor of Derek Robinson with 2 in scoring position. Here is the pitch. Low. And that'll be 3-1. So now Neglia's in a little bit of a bind here with 2 men on. 3-1 count. He does have first base open, but that's not ideal in this situation with just 1 out. Curveball hit deep to left center field. Kraus is going back. He does pick it up. It will be a sacrifice fly, however, way too deep to get the runner coming home. And the Indians tie it at 2 here in the bottom of the third.
Ties the ball game at 2. Brings to the plate the catcher, Nick DeLucia.
So Nick DeLucia steps in. He flied out behind third base in the bottom of the second. Here's the pitch, high and tight, ball 1. And the 1-0. Low and away, it's 2-0. Curveball in there for a strike. Good 2-0 pitch by Neglia. Certainly took the batter by surprise, and that's what you want. And ball 3. So Neglia getting behind once again, 3-1. Here is the 3-1. High fastball swung on and chopped up the middle. Maines patrolling over to the second base side and throwing it over to Conrad to end the threat and end the third. So after 3 complete, Kingston Saugerties 2, Schenectady Indians 2. We'll be back after this message. Owners throughout New York in the areas of liquor licensing, corporation. Welcome back, Legion baseball fans. So here we go with the top of the 4th. Kingston Saugerties will be led off by Caden Kraus, the left fielder. Kraus flew out to right in the top of the 2nd. And first pitch swinging, base hit right up the middle. Nice piece of hitting by Kraus. Wasn't waiting to see a strike this time around after going 1-2 in his last count. And that will bring up Chase Van Valkenburg. Van Valkenburg struck out looking in the top of the 2nd. First pitch swinging as well, and he gets a rip underneath the shortstop. I don't know how they're going to call that, if they're going to call it a hit or an error. But either way, Kingston Saugerties has got something cooking here in the top of the 4th. The catcher Matt Belfant steps in with Van Valkenburg on first, Kraus on second, nobody out. Belfant drew a walk in the top of the 2nd, and he squares the bunt. Lets it go through, and a ball is called, so it's 1-0. Question becomes, will Belfant square around to bunt again? And here's the pitch, and there he squares and bunts a beauty right up the right field line. Oh, and it takes a tough hop out of the grass. It looked like it hit a divot of some kind and pushed it foul. It was going to be a beautiful bunt up the right field, the first base line. There's definitely something in the grass that chopped it away. So that'll make the count 1-1, but that was a perfect placement. You could have even gotten a base hit possibly out of that if Gold hadn't gotten there in time, but we'll see what happens now. Here's the 1-1. Squares to bunt again, tries to push it to the right side this time, clearly foul. So that'll put him down in the count 1-2. Here's the pitch, spoiled away. Here's the 1-2. Gold steps off. The 1-2 is pushed over to the right side. That should move the runner along. Kraus tags up. Palsinelli camps under it and throws it in, so that will fall as a sacrifice. And now the runners are at the corners. And that will bring up Matt Du Bois, the second baseman. Matt walked in the top of the 2nd. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. Tipped back into the catcher's glove. Van Valkenburg had moved up on the play prior, so now Kingston Saugerties has runners at second and third. A one-man out with an 0-2 pitch coming to Du Bois high and left alone. Let's see if Kingston Saugerties can take advantage of the 2 consecutive base hits on consecutive pitches. Here's the pitch. Fouled away. And we'll end up in the Saugerties High School front yard, bouncing up to the sign out front. And the count remains 1-2 for Du Bois. Gold has managed to get in and out of trouble for the most part today, only giving up 2 runs on 6 hits. Here's the pitch. High and away, so that evens the count at 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Low and out. Good at bat going here by Du Bois. He's worked it full at 3-2. A couple of foul balls. Let's see if he can push one into play. And here's the pitch from Gold. Fouled away once again, straight back. And ends up over by the Indians' dugout. So we'll do it again. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Du Bois. Swung on and fouled back once again. Du Bois just looking for one he can handle. Gold looking for one he can paint the corners with. Get himself out of a little bit of trouble. So once again, the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled once again. That one is over into the hitting cage on the right field side, over the visitors' grandstand. And that is the 4th consecutive foul ball from Du Bois, just battling up here. Let's see what Gold can come up with. Here's the pitch. That one popped high down the right field line. It looks like it's going to fall foul. Will someone get to it? Yes! Tortorici ranging way back into the corner to get that. Made a heck of a play. Came up a little bit limping as well. But that is enough to get Kraus in on the sacrifice fly and push Van Valkenburg over to third base. And give Kingston Saugerties a 3-2 lead. And that's in there for a ball. So that also turns the lineup over. Hunter Parada, leadoff batter, steps in, got a double and a run in the top of the first. Swinging on the second pitch, sky to left field. Brody Johnson camps under it, and that will end the top of the 4th. Kingston Saugerties pushes one across on 2 hits. Consecutive sac flies, and they lead 3-2 halfway through the 3rd. 4th. Schenectady Indians are going to be led off by the left fielder Brody Johnson, who made the last out of the 4th, top of the 4th. And here's the first pitch from Neglia. Fouled away. That one went straight back. Johnson hit a flare out to Caden Kraus in the bottom of the 2nd. Second pitch in there for a strike. It's 0-2. Neglia deals. Just missed off the outside corner. Belfance tried to frame that. And it's 1-2. The 1-2 curveball in the dirt. Gets away from Belfance and back to the fence, but nobody on, no threat. So it's 2-2. The pitch is swung on and hit in the left center gap. Easily handled by Parada.
Gap track down by the center field. Move one away, your batter's the shortstop, Brody Becker.
So the back-to-back Brody situation is in our lap. Brody Becker steps to the plate. Had a single in his last at-bat. And first pitch swinging, hits it right back to Parada. Easy play. And out number 2.
Second opportunity out in center field. 2 away, your batter's the designated hitter, Dylan Becker.
So with 2 outs, that will bring up Dylan Becker. He also singled in the top of the second. Correction, bottom of the second. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. Here's the 0-1 from Neglia. Curveball lined right to Isaiah Maines. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Schenectady Indians. And after 4 complete, Kingston Saugerties has 6 hits and 3 runs. The Schenectady Indians 5 runs, 5 hits and 2 runs, and that will
36-7-1.
Real food. We're back, Legion fans, for the top of the 5th. Leading off for Kingston Saugerties is number 3, Casey Moore. Moore, first pitch swinging, fouls it back. Moore had a single and an RBI in the top of the 1st and a triple in the top of the 3rd. Scored both times. Here's the pitch. That one's low, it's 1-1. That pitch is ripped to second base. But Tortorici pops up the glove and stabs it, and that is an out.
Play made by Tortorici. There's 1 away. Your batter's the first baseman, Ethan Conrad.
So Casey Moore hit the ball hard 3 times today. Ethan Conrad also hit the ball hard in both at-bats. Got a single and an RBI in the top of the 3rd. Here's the pitch. Swung on and popped up to the third base side. Robinson given chase and can't get there. Tough play. He appeared to have it lined up, and then it was floating away from him a little bit, and kind of had to take measure of the fence and the corner of the dugout. A little bit dangerous. And in the end, breathes new life for Conrad. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Up and in, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Conrad. Swung on and belted in the left center gap. That is going to hit the wall. No. Tracked down by Brody Johnson. Put the wheels on, had a great jump on that ball. It looked for sure like that was going to hit the wall.
Left center field gap. Tracked down by the left fielder Johnson.
Good rip Even better play and left by Brody Johnson.
The shortstop, Isaiah Maines.
So that will bring to the plate Isaiah Maines. Had a sacrifice bunt in the top of the first and hit one back to Gold in the top of the third. First pitch swinging, fouled away. The 0-1. Swung on and served to the right field line. Rounding first is Maines. That is his second hit of the ball game.
Brings up the third baseman, Strachan Dorian.
So with 2 outs, Kingston Saugerties has a runner aboard for Strachan Dornan. Dornan is 0 for 2 with K's in the top of the first and the top of the third. Here's the pitch. Slashed straight at the center fielder. Andrew Vandyck all over that. And Gold escapes trouble. And that will end the top of the 5th. With Kingston Saugerties leading 3-2. We'll catch you after this message. Welcome back, fans. As we start the bottom of the 5th. Kingston Saugerties leading Schenectady Indians 3-2. The right fielder Michael Pulsinelli steps in. Pulsinelli, Cade looking in the bottom of the second, left 2 on base in a big spot. Let's see if he can make amends here. First pitch swinging, strike 1. So 1-1. Here's the pitch. Swung on and pulled foul up the third baseline. So Negley ahead on the count, 1-2. See what he comes with here. Here's the pitch. Just missed on the inside, low in half of the plate. Evens the count at 2-2. Here's the pitch, high and tight. Ball 3. The lineup's going to turn over either way here, but certainly Negley does not want to put the number 9 hitter on and set the Indians up. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and it looped through the third base side, and that's a base hit. And Pulsinelli thought about going for 2, but he'll stand at first with a single to start the bottom of the 5th. And turn the lineup over to Andrew Vandyck, the leadoff batter, who had a single and an RBI and a run in the top of the first. Sorry, bottom of the first. And hit into a 6-3 in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. Swung on and belted for a single down the left field line. Kraus will gather it and keep Pulsinelli at second base. But that's back-to-back hits to lead off the bottom of the 5th for the Indians. And it brings Christian Tortorici to the plate.
Second baseman, Christian Tortorici.
Tortorici popped to short in the top of the first and had a single in the bottom of the third. Here's the pitch. Squares the bunt. Fouled away. corners, I should say, are coming in. Here comes the square for the bunt. It's pushed over to Neglia, who moves it on to Du Bois, covering from second base for the first out.
Sacrifice moves the runners over.
Sacrifice is successful for Tortorici, and the Indians have second and third with one out. Here in the bottom of the fifth, down 2-3. With first base open,
Runners on second.
Kingston Saugerties elects to intentionally walk Ryan Funyak.
15, Ryan Funyak. That'll bring to the plate the third baseman, Derek Robinson.
So with the intentional walk, now bases loaded with one out. Belfance steps from behind the dish to give his team some signals. And Derek Robinson steps to the plate. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI in the bottom of the third. And it looks like there may be a pitching change as Kingston Saugerties manager Rich Kogel steps out to the hill. Kingston Saugerties does have somebody in the bullpen, but he's going to leave it to Neglia to clean this up. And for the Indians, in steps Derek Robinson. Here is the pitch. Swung on and belted to left. Looks like it's over Krause's head. It's going to come off the wall and back over his head again. That's going to be one run in. Second run coming to the plate. Throw just a little bit late.
Ball to the base of the left field fence.
Palsinelli scores.
3 runs for the Schenectady County Indians.
Vandyk scores. And Tortorici scores. Correction, Funyak scored on that. So that was a 3-run double. And the Indians take a 5-3 lead. Big hit by Robinson with bases loaded. Still with only one out. And Nick DeLucia at the plate, down 0-1. Now down 0-2. DeLucia flew out to third base in the bottom of the second, right behind third base. Here's the pitch. Tapped weakly up the third base side. It'll remain 0-2. So we'll do it again. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Froze him for the K. DeLucia kind of looked like he might have been looking for a curveball. Got a fastball down Broadway. And a big second out for Neglia. Brody Johnson steps into the plate. He flew out to the left in the bottom of the second, flew out to center in the bottom of the fourth. Comes up in a big spot here with a runner in scoring position in Robinson at second base. Tapped over to third base, quickly scooped up for the out over to Conrad, and that will complete the fifth inning. But the Indians put up a big 3 runs, and they take a 5-3 lead after 5 complete. And we'll be back after this. So we're back here for the top of the 6th inning after the Indians picked up 3 big runs on a big rip by Robinson with bases loaded. Kingston Saugerties had the intentional walk to Funyak to load him up. Robinson drove the ball deep. It looked like it might go out of the yard. And here is Kraus swinging on a 1-1. He pops it up to Vandyk for the first out.
The designated hitter, Chase Van Valkenburg.
So in steps Jace Van Valkenburg, the designated hitter. He's Cade looking in the top of the 2nd and picked up a single in the top of the 4th. The 1-0 pitch in there called strike, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch appealed up the first base line. It is called a strike, so it's 1-2. Van Valkenburg, here's the 1-2 pitch from Gold. Fouled away over the right side. Once again appealed first base side, and they say no this time. Certainly the fan faithful from Schenectady was thinking that was a punch out for Van Valkenburg, but it breathes life into this at bat, and here is the 2-2. Swung on in the dirt and missed. Bobbled by DeLucia, but thrown on to first base to Funyak for the first out. Second out, correction.
With 2 weighted batters attention. Matt Belfast.
So Matt Belfast steps in with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Belfast had a sac fly to right in the top of the 4th, which resulted in a sacrifice fly following him by Matt DuBois, which picked up the 3rd run for Kingston Saugerties. Here's the pitch and belted up the middle for a hard line drive single up the gut to center field. So the 2-out single breathes a little life into this inning for Kingston Saugerties. As mentioned, DuBois had a sacrifice fly in his last at bat as he steps in. Gold checks on Belfast for the 2nd time in the game. Pretty sure Belfast is not a threat to steal. Here's the pitch. In the dirt. Blocked by DeLucia. And Belfast wasn't going, so it'll be a 1-0. That offering from Gold inside and low. It is 2-0. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Swung on and dribbled over to shortstop, and that should end the inning, and it does. So Kingston Saugerties gets a 2-out hit, and that will do it for their top of the 6th. We'll be back after this message. The bottom of the 6th with the Schenectady Indians leading Kingston Saugerties American Legion 5-3. Last inning, the Indians busted open a bases loaded double to take the lead. They were down 3-2 at the time. And that also knocked out Marciano Neglia from the game. He threw 101 pitches. Had a pretty decent outing, but got himself into a little trouble last inning. Ended up giving up 8 hits and 5 runs. And in comes number 27, Jace Van Valkenburg to the hill. Here's the first pitch, low. The pitch, once again, a ball. It's 2-0. So Van Valkenburg finds himself behind 3-0. Not the way you want to come out of the bullpen, and certainly not when you're down 5-3 and your team's going to be coming up to their final at bat. And he loses them on 4 straight. So after the walk to Brody Becker, in steps Dylan Becker, designated hitter. He had a single in the bottom of the second and lined out to short in the bottom of the fourth. First pitch from Van Valkenburg, another ball, so he's got 5 straight. Got to find himself here. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. So Belfan steps out from behind the dish to settle him down a little bit. 6 straight balls from Van Valkenburg. Could really use a ground ball double play to get out of this. Here's the 2-0. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, called a ball, 3-0. Van Valkenburg checking over on Becker. Not much of a lead over there. Let's see with the 3-0 pitch. If he's squaring the bunt, he's not. He takes for a strike. So after 7 straight balls from Van Valkenburg, we got a strike across the plate. And it's 3-1. Here's the pitch. Inside and high. That's 2 consecutive walks. And that will prompt Rich Kogel to emerge from the dugout. Likely to settle down Van Valkenburg. I doubt he's ready to replace him just yet. Oh, I spoke too soon. It does look like he is going to make the change. So after 2 straight walks, Van Valkenburg's afternoon is complete. Looks like it may be Hunter Parada coming in out of center field, but let's see what happens here.
Pitching change for Kingston Saugerties. Now taking mound. Moving in from center fielder.
Indeed it is. Hunter Parada, number 33, comes in from center. It looks like Van Valkenburg will head out to right. And perhaps Caden Kraus moves over to center. It's hard to say here who's going to move into that slot. But after 2 straight walks, Van Valkenburg's afternoon is done. And Parada's on to hopefully stop the bleeding.
Jason Moore was right field center. Jason Valkenburg pitch to take his spot out in right field.
So with that, we'll take a quick commercial break and be back. So we're back. Parada will face the right fielder, Michael Pulcinelli, here in the bottom of the sixth with 2 men on, nobody out. And he lays down a bunt and beats it out. So Conrad had come in on the play, as did Parada. Parada turned, made the throw, but it wasn't in time. Pulcinelli got up the line in a hurry, and now there are bases loaded and nobody out. And Schenectady turns the lineup over. Andrew Vandyk steps in. First pitch in there for a strike. Vandyk had a single in the bottom of the first and a run. Hit into a 6-3 in the bottom of the third. And deals for a strike, swinging. Here's the pitch. Curveball up and away. Vandyk hoping to bust this game open. Parada hoping to stop the bleeding. Just missed inside. Count runs to 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Popped him up. Third base side. Dorian on the catch. Just behind the third base and out of play. Becomes a big out for Parada, but keeps bases loaded. And in steps Christian Tortorici. Tortorici flied out to shortstop, had a single in the bottom of the third and a sacrifice bunt in his last at bat. Here's the pitch. Up and away, ball one. Fouled away. Tortorici a little bit late on that one. Chopped it back into the screen, and it's 1-1. Here's the pitch. Curveball upstairs, 2-1. Here's Parada's 2-1. Just missed on the outside corner. Couldn't be framed by Belfance. And that runs the count to a dangerous 3-1. Certainly Parada doesn't want to walk him, but he also doesn't want to serve up a bases loaded hit. Let's see if he can find a corner. Here's the pitch. Upstairs for ball 4. That will be a walk. That'll become an RBI walk, and the Indians take a 6-3 lead. In steps Ryan Funyak. If you remember, fans, in the bottom of the fifth, he was intentionally walked to load the bases. Now he's up with the loaded bases. And first pitch strike. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt, blocked well by Belfance. Might have saved the run if that gets by him. Bounced well in front of the plate. And that evens the count at 1-1. Here's the pitch. Over the outside corner and at the letters called strike. It is 1-2. Parada likes to work quick. Here's the 1-2. Right back to Maines. On to third for the attempted double play. Dropped by Dornan. gets the second out.
Not able to turn two, and that will bring the plate to third baseman Derek Robinson.
So Derek Robinson steps in. He had the 3 RBIs last inning. That one gets bobbled by Dornanen, and that is going to result in an E and a run for the Indians. They're going to pick up 7 now and remain with bases loaded here with 2 outs. Nick DeLucia to the plate. Taps one over to second base, and that'll end the inning with the 4-3. But not before 2 more runs cross the plate. And after 6 complete, the Schenectady Indians lead 7-3 over Kingston Saugerties American Legion. Kingston Saugerties coming up. Saugerties enters the top of the 7th in their final at bat, possibly, unless they pick up 4 to tie the game or go ahead. But down 7-3, that's what they got to do in order to keep this game alive and their season. And you might say that they have what they want. They got their leadoff batter, Hunter Parada, to start the inning. Here's the pitch. Curveball just outside, ball 1. Up high for ball 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Fouled into his chin, maybe helmet. It did hit his chin, but he appears to be okay. Schenectadians have made a pitching change right now. Ryan Funyak is in to pitch. Sorry for the delay in announcing that. Was not reported up to the press box. So Carter Gold had a strong outing, in and out of trouble at times, but really just limiting the damage to 3 runs. Meanwhile, Parada works a walk to lead off the top of the 7th. And that brings in Casey Moore. Casey Moore has a single, a triple. Hit the ball hard in his 3rd at bat. He's got 2 runs scored and an RBI. Let's see what he can do. As Funyak comes in to hopefully close the game for the Indians. Here's the pitch. Curveball upstairs, 1-0. First few curveballs here from Funyak have been a little bit upstairs, trying to find the touch on the baseball. A little bit of a shift in breeze as the center field flag is now going out toward right. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit in that direction, but popped up straight to right field. And Michael Palsinelli camps under it for the first out.
First baseman Ethan Conrad.
That'll bring up the first baseman Ethan Conrad. Conrad had a single in the top of the 1st, a 1-3 RBI in the top of the 3rd, and lined out to left on a hard hit ball into the gap, top of the 5th. So essentially, Conrad looking for a 2-hit day at the plate here. And here's the first pitch from Funyak. Ball outside. And here's the 1-0. Funyak steps off to check on Parada at first. And now the 1-0. Belted in the same gap as earlier. It's going to go to left field, though, this time. And an easy play for Brody Johnson for the second out.
Deep left. Corral Johnson. That brings the plate. The shortstop, Isaiah Maines.
So down 3 runs, it's up to Isaiah Maines to keep this game alive. And Foniak's job to close it with Parada on first. Here's the pitch. Belted into right field, hard line drive, base hit. Parada feigns it going to third, but checks up. And it'll be first and second.
Line drive by Maines to right field. Will bring to the plate the third baseman,
Stration Dorian steps in with runners at first and second and 2 men out. Isaiah Maines picked up his second base hit of the ball game. Stration has K'd twice and had a hard line out to center field in the top of the 5th. Here's the pitch. Into the dirt. Blocked well by DeLucia, keeping the force play intact. The pitch is swung on and hit to short, booted off the left side, and that's going to be an error on Brody Becker, and load the bases for Caden Kraus, the left fielder. Seemed like a routine play for the longest time, but then it popped up a little bit late. Probably took Becker by surprise, but in any case, here comes Kraus with bases loaded and 2 out. Kraus had a single and 2 flyouts, 1 to right, 1 to center. And that ball in there, ball 1. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. So Foniak finding himself in a little bit of trouble. Thought he was probably out of the inning and the game, and is now in a 2-0 hole to Kraus. Here's the pitch. Grounder back to short. This time scooped. And on to first for the out and the ball game.
And that is your ball game.
So the Schenectady Indians win the ball game 7-3. 7 runs on 9 hits. They had 1 error on the day. Kingston Saugerties 3 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors on the day. The season will end for Kingston Saugerties, and Schenectady Indians will move on to Tuesday's state championship tournament right here at Cantine Field. The bracket of games is set to begin at 10 a.m. There will be a 10, 12, 4, and 7 o'clock game on Tuesday. Thank you for a great season from, on behalf of the coaching staff for Kingston Saugerties. That includes Rich Kogel, Jerry Malgiri, PJ Casey, Mike Kogel, and Tom Whitaker. Tune in again, fans, on the YouTube channel for Senior State Legion Baseball once again on Tuesday morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and thanks for tuning in.